Hello and good evening. Oh, hang on. We have an Aid Thompson is coming and sitting down. You can't hear him at the moment, but I will adjust that. And I need to show myself view. Hello, Aid. How you doing, mate? I've got to adjust the picture now. I've got to adjust the picture because there's two of us. I'll have to do this really quickly. While I'm adjusting, Aid, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Aid, are you there, Aid? Hello?
Headphones.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can't hear you.
Let's see. No, you should be able to hear me. You should be able to hear me. Maybe it's your headphones. We usually do this technical stuff before we come on, but I thought I was going to be the only one on tonight. So I just started the show. So we're going out live at the moment. Aid, everyone can see us and hear us. And they've all freaked out. They've all, climbing up the walls, going, what the hell's going on here? This is all a bit, impromptu. But there you go. That looks all right for now, I think. I'll have to change it again if more people come. Aid can't hear me. Maybe I'll just send him messages through Semaphore. Does anyone know Semaphore? And we've got a couple of little flags that I could pick up. Hi, everyone, says Ivan Ambrose. Hayton Puds is in there. Haha, we're doomed. Which is nice. We've got Scott saying evening all, y'all. We've got Russell Cannon there. Hello. What's going on? What's all the shouting? We'll have no trouble here. This is a local politics social for local people. Can you hear me, Aid? Aid, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Yes, you can hear me now. Oh, thank God for that. Yeah. Say something, Aid. Say something.
Yo.
Do you need a hearing aid?
Do I need a hearing aid? No,
yeah, a hearing for all your crimes, a tribunal. Hey, listen, I was listening to your show, and normally you end on a bit of a positive note, but this time you were just talking about P Diddy.
Hello,
and he did. Don't ask Diddy.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep talking.
Quite worrying now.
Try hand signals. Yes, it is quite worrying that P Diddy got away with it for like 30 years. Got away with it. Like, no one did anything. And there's been about 180 people who have come forward, men and women, to say, yeah, this guy's a non-spurger. Not Aid, P. Diddy. Need a Morse code system? We do indeed. We could do with that. Do you know what? It's one of those things. It's like the more complex you make your setup, the more difficult it is to just get to do simple things. Like be able to hear what I'm saying. Aid, can you hear me now? Aid, can you hear me? Hello, Aid. No, I can't hear Aid now. Now I can't hear Aid.
Yeah. It was because I wasn't speaking.
Oh, okay. Hang on, but you must have been able to hear me say that to respond. So you can hear you
because it's
So you can hear me.
It's my MacBook speakers are playing out, so I can hear you, but I need them through my headphones, and it's not. They're new headphones, but they were working until like earlier today, so I don't know what.
Dirty Mac Brigade. You want to get a Mac because they never crash. Final Cut Pro never crashes on a Mac, if you like. Anyway, evening all. How are we doing? Says Blue Badger. I'm doing all right. I'm quite enjoying the end of the world. How's your end of the world going, Aid? Are you all right?
Yeah, it's all right. I've
got this bottle of wine that I'm finishing off. Left Field.
Oh, lovely.
Do you know where we got that?
Where's that?
The quiz last night at the student bar in Durham. Me and Kat just turned up 2 minutes before the quiz started. Absolutely aced it, and then walked off with a bottle of wine. And all the students were sitting there going, "Yeah, why do we not know things?" And I'm like, "Because you're too posh. Stop braying and and learn something." Anyway, Chill Graham says Super Tiny. I am chill. BUFU Mike says, to be fair, R. Kelly has come out in support of him. Oh my god! Oh my god! Is that true? Aid! Oh my god! Scott! A wild Scott has appeared. What's Aid doing? He's moving house. Scott! Are you there, Scott?
Hi.
Hi! How you doing, mate?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm just going to try and adjust the image so that there's... that works. That works, I think. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I'm just making us all bigger. I'm making us all bigger on the screen. You like it when I make you bigger, don't you, Scott?
The last thing I need to be is bigger. Yeah.
Oh, didn't mean like that. Sorry, I meant Anyway,
no, I don't. That too.
Hey,
So,
I just want to give a big shout out to everyone in the chat. We've got Maggie in there. We've got Vendetta. We've got Steve. We've got Blue Badger. As I said, we've got Pygmalion in there. That's wonderful. I love a bit of Pygmalion. And we've got Paul in there as well. And One Angry Pagan and others. If you would like to join the chat tonight and tell us why Trump deserves to be president of the United States, even though he's a rapist and a killer of cops, like a rapist, racist cop killer, tell me why you should be given the keys to the freedom of the world. The most powerful job in the world. You think he should have the most powerful job in the world. Please come along, try and justify yourself. Because it was a bit like P. Diddy literally getting the key to New York City last year, even though his name is literally Pedophile Diddler. I mean, come on. Like, did no one see that coming? You know? He could have called himself N once or something. How could people... Anyway, Aid, are you back online? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I
can
hear
good.
You now.
I can stop filling now. Oh, but before I do, if you want to subscribe to the channel, just click the subscribe button, and then you can join the chat and tell us why you love Trump. So, Aid, introduce yourself, please, sir. Tell us more about you.
Yes, y'all. I'm Aid. I'm Aid Thompson. I do the alternative paper review most mornings, and I also do a podcast 2 times a week on a Tuesday to Friday night. So I've just done mine earlier. Now I'm jumping all over Graham's business.
Oh yes, please. Talking about jumping all over my business, Scott, would you like to introduce yourself?
It's a fantasy. Anyway, I'm Scott. I'm no one. I don't do anything important or extravagant online. Just come on here every so often to wax politics with these people that know a lot more than I do.
I don't know that much more about politics. It's just that I've got a big gobby mouth, a big gobby scouser. I'm Graham.
That's also a fantasy of mine.
My God,
things are getting dirty tonight.
I know, yeah, straight in there. That's what happens. We need more gender equality on this channel. I think it's 3 white men on the channel. This isn't good. We need to sort this out. Need to sort this shit out. And Pygmalion wants to know: is Trump? This could be the question for the night. Okay, you started for 10. Is Trump the president the USA deserves? Ooh.
Okay.
That is a good question. Aid, what do you reckon?
Yes, but not because America's any different to anywhere else. Like I was thinking earlier this week, I was like, how stupid are the general public in any Western liberal democracy?
In any country?
Like Australia, New Zealand, America, the UK. For most of our general publics, like the political awareness is pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I feel like if people are not that engaged, they're not that interested in it. They are gullible. They are. You shouldn't cast aspersions. You shouldn't call people stupid or ignorant, but I'm going to. And I feel like, if you're not engaged, this is what you get. This is kind of what you deserve. So,
what do you think, Scott? You're a little closer to the action than we are. Is Trump the president that the US deserves?
No, I don't think anyone deserves that. And I think that, Americans unfortunately can't help that they're stupid. They're kept that way purposely. The system is designed, the education system is designed to ensure that's the case.
So did you go to school in America? You went through the whole school
that's why
system?
I don't know anything. Yeah.
Is this so? Look, I don't know. I can only take what I see on American movies and TV shows, but I assume that it is all to do with swearing allegiance to the flag and sports. Like, that's it. And cheerleading. Sorry, and cheerleading. Do you actually learn anything?
And show and tell.
Yeah. Do you do?
That's what me and Graham are going to play later.
Do you do world history? Like, do you learn about the Romans?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I knew about Lady Jane Grey before I saw the movie Lady Jane Grey. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, of course I learned history, and we learned math and English and things like that. I think though that when you compare it to What my only sort of like relative knowledge would be to this English or British UK education system.
Yeah.
It is more advanced. It is
Yeah.
far more advanced. You start earlier. You may leave a little bit earlier, but most people choose to continue. So you actually stay in education longer. And, you know, sort of maybe certain things are being focused upon in America education than are. But you have to remember, this is going back 40 years, right? So, you know, so many things could be different now.
Yeah.
I don't have children, so I can't say, well, they're doing this in school, they're doing that in school. I don't know. But I think generally though, when you look at some of I think if you look at certain places, maybe in the South, where they're actually teaching theology over creationism and things like that.
Over evolution, you mean? If you were teaching theology over creationism, you'd be teaching the same thing.
Sorry,
but it'd be like my fairy story from the Bronze Age is a superior fairy story from the Bronze Age. I'll have you know.
Excuse me, sorry, I got the words wrong. What I meant is that they're teaching sort of
yeah.
You know, they're literally in public schools.
Yeah, but why is this
in Tennessee teaching children?
All right,
Scott. God created the world.
Yeah, okay. Well, if he didn't, why? What? And humans came from monkeys. Why are there still monkeys? Exactly. Can't answer that, can you? Sense. Yeah.
Huh?
Because an invisible wizard that lives in the sky made the world in about 6,000 BC. So, no, 4,000 BC.
But that's there's public schools that actually teach that.
Oh my God! OMG,
that's a problem.
Yeah. Did you?
So when I say that there are public schools in America that are purposely holding back, fact and science and things like that,
so that the kids grow up to be Republicans.
That's because they want them to not be worker bees.
Trump said,
"Excel and
I love the uneducated." He said that, didn't he? Trump did.
Oh, Trump said that I like the undereducated.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this is the thing. Of course he does, because they're stupid enough to vote for it. But also, that's him trying to say, "Oh, I love everybody."
Jup in the chat wants to know if schools in America are like the school in Starship Troopers.
Absolutely not.
Which some people don't realize is a satire. They actually think it's a gung-ho American movie.
We get naked with people of the opposite sex to shower. No,
yes.
That's not happen.
That happens in J.K. Rowling's imagination though every day.
Oh, it happens sort of every day.
It's every day. That's what she has to go through.
Did you hear about what she wrote?
Oh God, no. What now?
Apparently, the census.
Oh, in the census, she said the religion was a believer in biology.
Believer in biology.
That's not a religion.
What a wanker. What a wanker. Like, what a wanky thing to
wanker.
Say.
I love hearing the word wanker in an American accent. So, Aid, when you were in school, did you have to do like RE and shit? Did you have to do RE for like GCSE?
Did you get naked with the boys in the... Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So we had RE. It was...
Was it RE or was it like Christian propaganda?
No, we learned about different religions, and it was so there's like 2 or 3 things that stick out about learning RE in a state school comprehensive. The first one was that I never really looked at religion like it was a particularly important subject, but there were kids in my year who were like the sons and daughters of like Muslim families in the home counties, and they had a real problem with learning about Judaism. It was really like, and I knew nothing about like any of that conflict or history. I was like, why are they like objecting to learn? I don't understand this. Like that, I still remember that now.
Yeah.
And the second thing was that the RE teacher for my brother, who was also his like form tutor, was later fired.
God. Don't say this.
Yeah, prosecuted for some sort of some thing that I don't want to get sued for.
Yeah.
Because I googled him about like 10 years ago to see. I was like, I didn't dream that, did I? That did happen.
Oh
And
my God.
It's the Google right to forget thing. Like if you Google him, there's nothing about him at all.
Oh, right. So pedos have a right to forget like that they're pedos. Okay.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So there was that. And then there was two of these RE teachers in the same school, just two of them. So there was that guy. And then the other guy was, I think, 35 when we were there. And he got together with a 16-year-old girl who then left school and they became a couple. So it's like out of two RE teachers, both of them
nonce-burgers.
Like, huh? Yeah.
My fifth grade teacher was. He got arrested in the middle, or towards the end of the year, actually, when I was in class. Yeah.
Bloody hell!
I remember the girl that he was. Touching up during class. Huh?
So should we have a system where we have these private schools and we don't have to have Ofsted inspections and the teachers can just do what the hell they want and they don't even need a teaching qualification to work there? What do you reckon? Sound like a good plan? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to send your kids to that school where they probably will get nonced?
Do you know? Wait, hang on a second. Do you know stuff about private schools?
What?
I said. Do you know stuff about private schools? Then we haven't talked about private schools.
No, I haven't talked about it for a while. I might have mentioned it. Might have mentioned the way they entrench the class system in this country. Yeah, and then number 3 says religion is a class built on sound.
You mentioned RE and you talked about it as if I knew what RE is. I'm guessing.
Oh, sorry.
Education.
Yes.
That's not a subject.
It's like PE, but even more noncy by the sounds of things from what Age just said.
But it's literally not a subject.
Yeah, because they have to have a separation of church and state in America.
Yeah, so you don't learn about that at all. I actually didn't. I knew very little about Muslims until I moved here.
Yeah,
wow.
Very, very little.
Wow, and Trump plays on that because he goes, "We're going to ban all Muslims," and people don't understand what it means. They just think, "Oh, he's going to ban terrorists."
Ban foreigners.
Yeah,
that's what they think.
Or foreigners, people who look different.
He's going to ban people that have different color skin than them.
Okay, all right. I want to ask, okay, we're going to talk a bit about Trump tonight because obviously he's come out with this lunacy about wanting to have the purge. Like, he's actually said it now. The words have fallen out of that god-awful face of his. He said he wants one beautiful day of violence, you know, and then everything will be solved. We'll just have
It's like he saw the movie last week and then he thought he'd drop it in the conversation while he was, freestyling or whatever he does. It's a little off the cuff conversation that he has with himself while the audience watches. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like he saw the movie last week and thought that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think he's just in a mode now. He's at a stage of the political life cycle where he knows how to carpet bomb the press, the front pages, the top headline. If he says something along the lines of, I think we should have a purge. Did you see that movie, The Purge? We should all do a big purge.
We should all do that. Trump wants to purge.
So if he watches Sharknado, he's going to be coming out next week. We need to have a Sharknado. That'll sort everything will be sorted.
As long as terror.
Because he's obviously watched Silence of the Lambs recently, or I don't know.
He watched like the Hannibal,
the terrible sequels and prequel. Yeah.
But if Kamala Harris has like a good day, if she performs well in an interview or in a debate or some new policy idea gets floated and it does really well, he will just say something crazy just to gobble up all of the news cycle. Yeah, because everyone knows that if he says something insane, it's like, oh my god, she had a good day, but also over here he talked about Sharknado. Oh my goodness.
He sounds more and more crazy every day.
Yeah, and we should get Anthony Hopkins to do a message to Trump, and we should do it so Trump thinks that Anthony Hopkins is talking to him through the screen, and he's like, "I flew halfway around the world just to watch you run for president, Mr. Trump." And just like feed into his ego. Be brilliant. We should definitely do that. Yeah. Oh, we've got a super chat come in from Punninator. Thank you very much, Punninator. That's very kind of you. I'm agnostic atheist. Basically, I'll change my mind if I see evidence. I do think RS, religious studies, is an important subject, but you'll focus on the religion, history, and what unites them, encouraging understanding. I think it should be part of civics and history. it's important to know what these cultures believed in. And if you study the Egyptians, you learn about the Egyptian mythology because it's so embedded in everything they did. Why they built the pyramids, why they built the temples, why they did this. So yeah, I think it's more history.
I remember doing Greek mythology in school, which I thought was weird. I didn't see the point.
I love Greek mythology. I love the fact that they're just superheroes, aren't they, Scott?
Literally, that's what
they're just humans
it felt like
with human foibles, but they've got superpowers.
Marvel characters more than you know what I mean. That's how it kind of felt to me. It's like, this is a fantasy.
Yeah.
So why are we doing a whole sort of like thing on this? Why am I reading a book about these fantasy characters?
Yeah.
And because in a way it was their religion. So it's like, why are we learning this and then not learning about Christianity or Muslim or Judaism? We learned like the most basic. Christians celebrate Christmas and Easter, and Jewish people celebrate Hanukkah. And we're going to teach you about Hanukkah because we happen to live in a very Jewish neighborhood.
Yeah. But I mean, if I was religious, I'd worship the sun and moon because I can see them. They're there. I can see them, and they do useful things. Like, there couldn't be life on Earth without the sun, and the moon works as basically a shield in case any big bastard space rock, any big space rocks come towards us, they twat into the moon instead of us. That's why it's all covered in pot marks. So thanks for that, moon. But I know that's just a hunk of rock. I know that's the sun doesn't really care about me. It doesn't listen to my dreams. Sadly, it'd be cool if it did. But yeah, so Trump has really tapped into this ignorance in America that is allowing him to. Are you all right, Scott?
Oh, I want to know all about your dreams now.
Scott's lost it.
No, if the sun doesn't want to know, you can tell me, Graham.
Okay, all right. Graham is a natural pagan, says Super Tiny. Maybe. No, but also, I do.
About my dreams.
I've got to say that I do prefer the idea of running around naked in forests wearing animal masks for some reason. Yeah, cool. Let's do that. Although I have to say,
have you ever run around naked in the woods before, Graham?
No, I've run around drunk in the woods before, which I've got to say, do not do. Do not do that thing because you will twat your face on a branch within like 5 minutes. Like seriously, you just can't. Especially in the dark, when it's dark at a half moon party in Thailand. Please don't do that. I've
never been naked in the woods either. I want to try it one day.
Yeah, just run naked.
Yeah, I'd have to wear shoes because
there's a lot more acceptance of sexuality in pagan beliefs. But have you seen the movie Midsummer? It's got the most fucked up sex scene with the old ladies kind of like pushing him in and giving him a hand. Here you go, love. Put me harder. Yeah. Yeah, no. That is a messed up movie. Brilliant, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Have you seen Aid?
Yeah, I have seen it. And so we saw it, I think, a couple of years ago. And both, when you watch a movie and then the credits roll and you both look at each other and you're like,
okay.
Like, what even was that?
Yeah,
it's one of them.
It is a bit mad. Duke Vengeance is taking issue with me saying nothing Zeus does in Greek mythology could be considered heroic. Yeah, it's more like the boys kind of superheroes or Watchmen. Flawed humans with superpowers.
I feel like Midsummer and The Wicker Man, these movies, that is the end game of the Brexit movement. Like, I feel like if you continue following Brexitism down that rabbit hole and you take, so it starts off with the EU, then it's got to be hard Brexit, then it's got to be we've got to leave the ECHR, then it's going to be the UN, then it's going to be the solar system. It's never going to stop.
Yeah.
Until we end up in some
put a copper in a big wooden prison and set it alight.
I've just been catching up on Slow Horses, and at the end of the first season, there's a line where the bad guy basically says he's an English nationalist, like one of Farage's Brexiteer types, and he goes, "Oh, it's a Norman castle. There's nothing more English than that." And I'm like, the Normans were from France. They were literally Vikings from France. But then again, English, Anglo-Saxon. People from other places. We literally live in migrant land.
Yeah.
That's the name of our country.
America is known as the melting pot.
Yes.
The place of immigrants, and it's like Trump's now saying, "Oh, these Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, I'm going to send them all back." And it's like, they're legal. Like, what are you talking about? Like that's some scary shit.
Yeah. And there's been a huge increase in like effectively terrorism in Springfield, Ohio, where people have been calling up the police and causing trouble, and it's been kicked off by the former president of the United States. The once and future president.
Not going to stop until he pops his clogs. Really, I think.
Yes.
This is the problem.
Yeah. Well, third time lucky.
Whilst he has a mouth.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put up with.
But I mean, do you think that America has got so far down its own fundaments, down the rabbit hole, that it would tolerate a purge? If there was a day where you could just go out and murder your neighbours, chop them up, Rwanda 94 style. Although you got guns, even better. It'd be more efficient. You could take way more people out.
It'd be the Wild Wild West. It's not. It's like, if you've watched the Purge films, I've watched all of the Purge films, and it really does actually tell you what it would end up like, and it wouldn't end up to be a good place. So at the end of the day, no, there should be a lesson in those films that that's actually not a very good idea. So. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think America really is fundamental in the fact that it's a democracy, right? We so many people in America have sacrificed their children, their family members, to this idea of democracy, and That's why I just don't see Trump winning. I see democracy winning. And
you mean they sacrificed their children? You mean like the way they offered them up to P. Diddy and Michael Jackson? Allegedly.
But in the sense of fighting wars in the name of democracy.
Yeah, but is that really... It's like when they talk about World War II and they say, we all did it because we hated the Nazis. And it's like, well, a lot of people did it. They didn't want to go. They just felt that they felt obliged and there was nothing else to do and they didn't want to be called cowards.
No, I mean...
Especially World War One.
The whole thing with Vietnam, no one wanted to go.
Yeah, exactly. They had to be drafted.
But what I'm saying, so the people that have lost their loved ones and stuff like that, or are going to be sitting there going, "Well, I lost them because we are a democracy, and this is like really important. We have to keep." I don't see those. There's just I don't know. I just don't that attitude. Democracy is the whole idea of a democracy is so fundamental to the United States of America.
But it's not why they go to war.
I don't think Trump is big enough, as big as he is, to dismantle it.
Yeah, but
this is the problem with this is that the people who support him are being IV'd, for want of a better phrase, this idea that the Bidens and Kamala Harris are actually the upenders of democracy. They're the guys that stole the election in 2020. They're the guys that are going to make moves to do it again, like this time round. So in the warped, perverted, paradoxical mind of the MAGA voter, or even like some floating voters might be thinking at this stage, well, I was going to vote Democrat, but after what they did last time, I don't know if I can support them again. Like, so it's.
I just don't see that's enough. I don't see there's enough of those people.
Scott, to go back to what you were saying, I mean, democracy's been using it as an excuse after the event, but like America got involved in World War II because it got bombed in Pearl Harbor. It got involved in Korea and then Vietnam as a rebuttal against communism because they were scared of communism taking over. The first Gulf War was because Kuwait was invaded. Kuwait's not a democracy. It's an autocracy.
I get it. I'm talking about the rhetoric and
the rhetoric. Yeah, you're right. It's what they say.
America is built fundamentally on a democracy. And that's the way it has always been. So are there going to be enough MAGA fuckheads to dismantle it? I don't think so.
Yes. No, I don't think it takes that many.
It would have already been dismantled.
Well, no, they need to wait for the right moment. Like 2020 wasn't the right moment because they didn't have supreme power over the Supreme Court in the same way. You know,
that had no effect on the attempted coup.
Yeah, but now they are not just in charge
during the attempted
coup.
Well,
the worry is that they're not just in charge of the Supreme Court; they're also a third of all federal judges are now MAGA. Not just Republicans, but MAGA Republicans, like lunatics.
A third that doesn't mean anything, because then there's going to be still more that are not.
No, but then there's a load more who are Republicans, and it's something like 2/3 altogether are on the Republican side. And the Republicans are...
They're all going to agree with Trump. You have to remember that when Trump was contesting the election results back in 2020, he came up against judges that he had appointed himself who pushed back and said that there was, no loss of integrity in the election results.
I do worry after...
Even though he's appointed them, it doesn't mean they're automatically going to do what he says.
Well, what's her name down in Florida didn't she?
Well, that's her. That's not all of them.
But once one judge says, "Yeah, you're right, got a point there," it can go straight to the Supreme Court because they decide what cases they take. And my worry is that they'll start counting the votes. Trump will be ahead in the 7 swing states at the start.
I hear what you're saying,
and they'll tell them to stop counting the votes.
Huh?
And the Supreme Court will do what it did in December 2000 and say, stop counting the votes. Our boy is ahead.
They can't just stop the next day and tell people to stop counting the votes when the votes are ahead. You can't do that.
Well, they did. They did it in December 2000.
After a month of arguing.
Yeah, but the same thing's going to happen.
It's not going to happen this way again. I don't think it's going to happen like that again. We're not.
I'm not going to bet my hat on it.
I actually wouldn't expect them to do that this time because it's so much tighter. Like every election that's gone by, the result, the margin between the two candidates in America since about 2000, I think, every time it's got narrower and narrower and narrower. And we saw what happened in 2020. I personally feel like they'll have to. This will be the most closely watched and finally counted ballot by ballot election.
Exactly, I agree with that.
But I mean, like it's so frustrating because Scott, you're saying it's a democracy, right? But like some of the democratic institutions, like the Electoral College, are not democratic. It's ridiculous that you are throwing out millions of votes.
I get the principle behind it. It's just it doesn't that. The unfortunate thing is it means that some states don't matter.
Yeah. But someone's Super Tiny saying stop the count. Remember last time there were ones where if Trump was behind, they wanted them to keep counting the votes, and if Trump was ahead, they wanted them to stop the count. Stop the count. That's going to happen again.
Well, just because it happened before doesn't mean that they stopped. They didn't stop counting.
Yeah, but with the might of the Supreme Court, who can just decide what is legal now, apparently. And I can just see them saying...
I think that would be like a vulgar display of power. And I've discussed this with you before. And I don't see America putting up with that, of them going, right, there's a dispute in the election result, right, a week after, let's say, the second Tuesday of... remember. Let's say a week later, there's still a dispute in a way. There isn't a clear winner. I don't see the Supreme Court just jumping in and going, right, gotta stop now.
I know you say like you can't see Americans standing for it, but they stood for Sandy Hook. Like after Sandy Hook, that should have been it. That should have been it. No more handguns. No more AK-47s or AR-15s.
You don't understand the gun culture in America.
Yeah, and then after January the 6th for Trump, I thought that would be it. Because I don't think anyone would stand for it. And it's not only that they're standing for it, they want him to be president again. They've seen him, the carnage he's caused, they've seen him lead to the death of 2 police officers. 9 people died in January the 6th. 140 police officers were injured. They've seen him do that. They've watched it live on television and gone, yes, please, more of that. So when you say they won't stand for it, I'm thinking...
Oh, I'm not talking about MAGAs. I'm talking about the majority of Americans.
But they've already stood for...
You guys seem to think that the majority of America are MAGA morons, and they're not.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they've stood for it.
Those people have, but no one else. Everybody else didn't.
Well, they've let him run again.
That doesn't matter. Like, if the Republican Party says he can run again, he can run again. That's part of democracy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
there's been no movement. There's been no mass movement against him standing. Like, there's been no riots against this man, this sex predator, this rapist, this man who effectively led to the deaths of 2 police officers. There's been no popular uprising against him.
You know what? There's really no talk. I can't continue this argument anymore with you. Like, I just can't do it anymore.
Oh, sorry, Scott. Should we talk about something else? Should we talk about Rings of Power?
Huh?
Should we talk about Rings of Power?
I haven't seen it. So
no. Crap. Anyway, someone in the chat's like, no, it was bloody wonderful. But yeah.
But it's just we come to the same conclusion every time.
Yes.
It's me, I'll put an argument, and then you just go, Supreme Court. Supreme Court. And I just don't see that happening. I can't see it happening. You are determined that is going to be the case.
Well, if the Democrats don't get the thumb out of their ass,
the election.
Well, why don't we make it interesting? I mean, Graham says this is going to happen. Scott says that's going to happen.
I don't want it to happen. I want the Democrats to get their arse into gear and have things set up in case the Supreme Court pull this shit. They've got things in place to tell the Supreme Court to fuck off.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I think you could be right, Graham, but I also think Scott could be right, and I think the loser, the one that isn't right, should buy the other one a bottle of champagne.
Okay, yes, I'm up for that.
Just throwing it out there.
Actually, I don't want I don't want a bottle of champagne if Trump wins. So yeah. So if Scott's right, I'll buy you a bottle of champagne. If I'm right, just give me a hug, because I'll be crying in the corner and rocking.
Although that would have been a great trap, like to get Graham on a photo the night that Trump wins, like pulling champagne corks.
Yeah, exactly. Like Farage on the night of Brexit, like pointing at the pound tanking and going,
yeah.
So all his mates made loads of money. So we've got loads of people in the chat. I'm a loon, but not MAGA. We have a conundrum, says Super Tiny. We've got Roxy Bull saying Trump is the American version of Putin, and he is Putin's bewitch. He is. Alex says every Friday night appointment viewing. Indeed. John says Bush's brother stops the vote, and the Republican Supreme Court agree, which is what happened in 2000. Al Gore gave up. That's from Paul, which is true. You got a very good point there, Paul. He did for the good of democracy and the.
Do you think Biden would concede? Because think about it, Biden, he didn't even want to give up the fucking place on the actual campaign trail. Like,
yeah, but he knew he wasn't going to.
He had to be convinced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder whether he's just quick enough to leave the White House. Oh, Trump won. Okay, no problem, guys. See you all later. I don't see it. Especially if there's a contention with that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to also just really quickly point out, you seem to think that there is not a plan. The Democrats don't have anything set up in case.
And I hope they do. Like that's my little bit of hope there, Scott. So I'm not completely sitting here in the depths of despair. Yeah. I'm like hoping that they've got a plan.
I think they will have something.
Yeah.
They're not just gonna lie down and go, oh, okay.
Oh, then take our democracy.
Maybe
kill everyone who's different.
2000 they did that, or 2000 whatever.
Yeah,
it was with George W. But I think a lot of lessons have been learned since W. That the Republican Party are kind of not to be trusted in any way. Yeah. So.
Well, power to the people saying he thinks there's going to be absolute carnage on November the 5th, whoever wins. We're not going to know on November the 5th. We're not going to know until...
No, it doesn't know for like 2 days.
It'll probably be midway through January before it's actually decided. I've got to say that. But yeah, there could be trouble between then. But yeah, I got to say, the Americans not letting me in their country, not letting me get a visa, having to wait months and months, they might have done me a favour, actually. Because I was going to go over for the election, and I'm thinking, actually,
I thought you don't want to be caught in that riot now, do you?
I thought you were going to go all like petty then for a second. I thought you were going to go like, they didn't give me a visa, they won't let me in, so now I'm just going to sit back and watch that thing burn.
They knew what they were getting into when they bought their tickets. I say, let them crash.
Yeah.
Anyway, Aid, talking of crashing and burning, tell us about the Tory Party conference that we had this week. Did you see any of the I was going to say highlights. Did you see any of the lowlights?
I listened to some interviews. I listened to some coverage. People talking about James Cleverly had a good week, apparently.
He was the least batshit, and that's saying something.
I mean, they're all talking about leaving the ECHR, aren't they?
Yes.
They're all basically climbing over each other, trying to shout over each other to sound the most right wing, because typically, traditionally, when the Tory leadership goes down to the final two, when they take it out to the membership to vote, the membership are horrendously racist and right wing. So whoever's the most right wing out of the two candidates tends to get it. So now they're all coming out with this nonsense about, like, you know, maternity leave is too generous. I'm not scared to leave the ECHR. Britain isn't institutionally racist. Like, anything that you can say, any dog whistle for
what was
daily
it? The SAS soldiers or something wasn't there? Robert Jenrick said something about veterans.
Yeah, he called them war criminals or something. He accused them of war crimes.
Terrorists, instead of taking them, like apprehending them and questioning them, because they're worried about getting sued under ECHR stuff.
Yeah,
like,
it's absolute bollocks.
Complete rubbish, easily disprovable. Yeah, it's laughable.
I think Jenrick's haircut makes him look like a massive, like, sort of skinheady Nazi kind of guy. I don't know what you think, but I saw him. I was like, he looks like a thug. Like, the way he cut his hair short like that, I'm like, he's going for the thug vote. Like,
he always gives me, like, sort of, I don't know, Jack D after he's been slowly poisoned with mercury for 2 weeks kind of vibes.
Yeah, but he had a lot. His hair was a lot longer. That short cut just made me go, he's trying to look hard.
Well, they always do this. Do you remember when George Osborne was tipped to be going for the leadership? He suddenly lost a lot of weight. He got himself a nice short haircut.
They do that, don't they?
It's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Wow.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true. In America, you're kind of prized for being fat. Look at Donald Trump. But here, no, it's true. Here, you know.
Actually, no.
Has there been a big prime minister since Churchill?
Has there been a big president apart from, you know, in the modern era, apart from Trump?
Trump is quite exceptionally large, isn't he?
Yeah,
he is. He just hides it very well.
Ford wasn't
do you remember when he?
Did you hear about the other horrible thing that Trump did this week? I should say that today. I don't know.
Again.
He chose the day of Jimmy Carter's 100th birthday, the first American president to reach 100 years old, and Trump decided to have a dig at him.
Yeah, what a bellend.
It doesn't matter. Jimmy Carter doesn't know what day it is. I mean, I saw him on that 100th birthday thing. He was just in his bed.
I know, but it's pretty low, Scott.
He didn't know what was going on.
I know, but it's pretty
clueless.
It's pretty low. It's a low blow.
Yeah, definitely. But it's also, you know, Jimmy Carter was like, whatever, shit his pants. You know what I mean? Same thing Donald Trump did.
Power to the People says Blair and Thatcher were quite big. I don't think they were.
They weren't. So Tony Blair was really sort of like physically fit.
Yeah.
And so was Gordon Brown. Wasn't the skinniest geezer in the world, but again,
well, Boris Johnson was a big blob.
Yeah.
And he's Britain Trump.
And he had to lose weight at one point, didn't he?
Did he?
Worried about getting COVID again.
Oh, didn't know that. Ooh.
Yeah, there was
wait. Lose weight.
We've got a super chat. We've got a super chat. Hang on. Pygmalion, thank you for the £5. Aid was saying last week that the Tory party are the anomaly. They are the ones who should be integrating into part of society. You said this to Tom Swarbrick, didn't you, on LBC? If anyone heard that interview, it was great.
I've been meaning to go back and listen to what you said to it.
It was really good. It was really good. Go on, anyway. Go on. Tell us about it, Aid.
Yes, please.
He was saying, I can't remember what day it was now, but they were saying something about like the ECHR and the Tory conference and all of the things that these candidates were coming out.
Surprised he wasn't there.
I think they sent the news agents up there, didn't they? They're global.
Oh yeah. No, but more in the sense that Tom Swarbrick's a massive Tory, but you know.
Is he? Do you know what I've heard from a few people this week? Like, he's privately educated and. He's what?
He was literally Theresa May's advisor.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Yes, he said it a few times.
Oh,
yes, he was one of Theresa May's fads.
That's funny. I've always thought he was just like an LBC guy.
No, he was one of Theresa May's fads. I don't know how he got into broadcasting, but he was a special advisor to Theresa May when she was.
Well, you live and learn, don't you? But
anyway, he has said it many times.
Oh.
He's quite proud of it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I know.
I found out something.
The worst prime minister, one of the worst prime ministers ever. You advised her, dude.
I've got a presidential question for Scott. Scott, who was the 10th president of the United States?
Oh fuck! Right off. We learned literally like the first 5 in school. Like they're not gonna make us remember all. Well, when I was a kid, it was up to 30 whatever, 30 something, 38 or something like that. Grover Cleveland?
No. That was much later. He was the one who was the 2-termer, wasn't he? So he was like the 20th and the 22nd because he had a split term. That's why there's been 45 people have been presidents of the United States, but Biden is the 46th president, which is a bit confusing. No, John Tyler. John Tyler was the 10th president of the United States.
You could say names to me. You could tell me that Will Smith was the president once. Oh, really? Was that back in like 1800 to you or something?
It was. He was in office from 1841 to 1845. He was a big supporter of slaves, but he was actually born in 1790 at the very birth of the Republic, of the birth of the United States of America. His grandson is still alive.
Wow.
His grandson is 95 years old. Both John Tyler and his son had children very late in life. His grandson is still alive. That's what I found out this week. His name is Harrison Ruffin Taylor. And he's 95 years old, but he is still alive.
Does he have children?
Yeah, I assume he does.
So he would have a great grandson as well.
Yeah. He's a
great grandson.
What can I say? That is mad. That just like three people bridge the gap from the very birth of the Republic to today.
Yeah,
thanks
crazy.
TikTok and whoever's video I watched on TikTok that told me that. George, thank you very much. Jenrick is gay. Okay, if you say so. Thank you very much. His wife is a beard, like Vance in the closet. Although Katie Hopkins would have to disagree.
Well, if I ever see Jenrick out and about, trust me, I will take a photograph. Okay, I will expose that shit for what it is. I'm like, here he is sucking dick. You know, I will not care. Such a piece of crap.
Back when I had a ginger girlfriend, I used to tell people that I had 2 ginger beards. Only gay people got that joke, but it was worth making.
But you're not gay, Graham.
Oh well, you get enough drink in me. I'm anybody's. John says,
I tried that. It doesn't work.
Oh, I had streaming to do. Sorry, mate. John, I have watched so many documentaries about the United States, and it's in one ear and out of the other. Well, there you go.
Well.
All right, I've got another fab bit of trivia for you, and I've already said this on the show. This was ages ago, so probably people have already forgot. What remarkable coincidence links Abraham Lincoln and Charles Darwin? And it's not that they both had beards. It's not that they both featured on banknotes, and it's not that they are both names of state capitals named after them. It's something else. That is a remarkable coincidence. So if anyone can tell me what it is in the chat, I'll be very impressed. Don't Google it if you just know off the top of your head. Anyway. Hang on. A wild Darren has appeared. Hello, Darren. It's Daily Blase. How you doing, mate?
If I look like I've got as I've been snorting a good load of dodgy stuff around my face, it's not the wild stuff. It's strong white flour. I've been making some rolls for stew and dumplings for tomorrow.
Are they called rolls where you are? Not called baps or barms or?
No, well, we call them. You mean the circular round ones?
Yeah.
We call them tea cakes.
Oh my God, mind blown.
Yes.
This is like when Catherine asked me to get muffins.
Chocolate things with the marshmallow inside.
Yeah, Catherine once asked me to get muffins from the supermarket, and I got the wrong type of muffin.
Would you get American style muffin?
I think so. I don't know. There's like 4 different types of freaking muffin, and they're all very different. I fell down that rabbit hole, didn't I?
Did you get breakfast muffin? Yeah. I think they call. Actually, I think the shops now call them.
Yeah.
Here in England, they call them English muffins.
They do.
Yeah.
Jax is saying that both Darwin and Lincoln are vampire hunters. Jupp is asking if they both married their cousin. Sarah saying Welsh connection. They both shagged the same person. No, they are not custard cousins. Frittam Stuck says, did they both shag Captain Fitzroy of the Beagle? So we're getting really specific on the same person that they shagged. No. Is it a balm or a balm cake? We're getting from Jax. Darren. Is it a balm or a balm cake?
Do you mean when you go to the chipper?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what I tend to love to do is go into chippies all around country. If I go somewhere, I'll say, "Can I have a cake butty?" And they just look at me as if
a cake butty. Brilliant.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah.
But we've got
sandwich with cake in it.
We've got a correct answer, but it's only half correct. Hayton Pud says they were both born on my birthday, February the 12th. They were, but it's a bit more special than that.
Oh, right.
Is that your birthday, Graham?
No, it's not my birthday. My birthday is February the 28th. So we're all February kids, you know, down with the kids. But no, no one's got it yet, so I'm just going to put you out of your misery. They were born on exactly the same day. Not just the same date, but they were both born on the same freaking day. 2 people who changed the course of history.
Shit.
Yeah, February the 12th.
I'm
1809.
Say I'm slightly disappointed by that. I thought it was going to be something even like weirder, like really weird.
You really wanted it to be they shagged the same person.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Captain Fitzroy.
Yeah,
they play cards on his back.
Yeah, I have to say my timing.
To me, to you, to me. They did the old Chuckle Brothers. Come on, listen, it gets lonely at sea. Believe me.
Yes.
You get a let. It's like being in jail.
I have to say my timing's impeccable. Join the conversation where I've absolutely not got a Scooby-Doo what the hell you lot are talking about.
Oh, well, you should have been watching before.
Yeah, you should have been watching.
I was manipulating my door. That was the trouble.
Yeah,
that's what you call it.
So we're gonna be arguing now about team bombs. Is it bomb cake, tea cakes, rolls, muffins? Love them all, me. 30 different names for bread rolls. I love baps more than barm cakes because land sucks. Barm cakes because land sucks. I don't know. Chips, Soreen, or Summit in Yorkshire. It's bread roll unless it has currants in it. In the northeast, a tea cake has raisins in them. Granny used to take them up to FedEx in Newcastle for a cuppa and a toasted tea cake. Raisins. There you go. Chip butty though.
That's not
chip butty.
That's a hot cross bun.
No, but what if it hasn't got a cross on it? Then it's not.
It's just a hot bun.
What if it's not hot?
Hot buns.
A cold bun. Well, hot cross buns are not usually hot when you buy them at the supermarket.
Your buns are making me cross.
Back to the banter about Darwin and Lincoln. Frittam Stuck has said he wasn't called Spit Roast Fitzroy for nothing.
Fucking hell.
Lovely.
This is the moment that the video has been demonetized.
I was going to say that.
Cheers, Wayne. It's all Wayne's fault. Wayne,
I think it's my fault today.
He got us demonetized. Anyway, sorry. We've got completely off. Oh, sorry. This is my theory. I wanted to go with my theory for the Tory Party conference because they were all dead happy at the conference. And they were quite glum in the Labour Party conference the week before. Why do you think they were so happy, Aid?
Something in the water.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I think they're completely deluded about why they lost the election.
Yes.
They keep saying that it's because they weren't conservative enough, that they didn't take the vote seriously enough, etc. We all know that they were roundly rejected in that election by Labour, who took their lunch, took that like centre-right space from them. That was what all of the Telegraph articles by Starmer, all the fiscal responsibility stuff by Reeves was all about, was to take that sort of, look, we are now the real party of fiscal responsibility. We are the true conservatives. We are the party of social mobility and all of that. So it was Labour that took their lunch, but they still act like it was only Reform nipping at their heels that caused them any issues. So I think they think that if they just bang on about votes a little bit more, if they just get a leader in place who can take leaving the ECHR seriously, then I think they think they're odds on for a victory at the next election.
What was with the happiness, though? I mean, did you see Liz Truss walking with that grin on her face? That shit-eating grin as she's being asked the questions.
Yeah, well, crazy people are normally quite happy.
Smoked crack before.
Yes, Scott, I'm with you, mate. I've actually written it down on my piece of paper. Here, I wrote the word cocaine. There you go. I've written Tory conference, smiley face equals cocaine.
I've asked this on my TikTok many times. What the hell is she smoking? Because she is so insanely deluded, right? That only a crackhead can look like that when they walk through a crowd of reporters, right? Only a crackhead could say the things that she said on that stage. The delusion that she is still relevant. But saying that, she had a queue going around the block, and they couldn't fit everyone in who wanted to see her.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not like a queue
That's
of people.
So scary.
That's terrifying.
If we did a politics social gig, then the people who would come to it, who would buy tickets or who would queue up to get into it, they would be like, I like politics social. I want to go in and see what these guys have to say, right? If there's a queue around the block queuing up to see Liz Truss, it's like a car crash. It's like everyone wants to see the crazy lady talk some crazy shit. Like, what's she going to say?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of
Will she find the door?
I think there's a lot of people that
from a good
actually
place.
think that because as you say, we're talking about a lot of the memberships. You seem to think that they weren't right wing enough, and she's the epitome of that, really, in a way, like financially, anyway. And so that I thought maybe the interest there was to go see what she says as if she has any real relevance. But that creepy ass smile that she kept on her face while she walked through the reporters asking her questions was something that
we've got two things. We've got two bits of homework here. Aid, get onto your AI stuff. Get John Mortar on board. And I want a version of Only the Lonely, but it's only the crackheads. from what Scott was saying. And also, should we do a comedy sketch? And I think this would be brilliant. Liz Truss in the Crystal Maze.
Just smiling like that.
Just smiling, and everyone's shouting at her through the door, like, do this, go over to the thing. And she's like... And then at the end, when they say, listen, you've run out of time, you got to come out. She can't find the door. And it's right there in front of her, a big sign saying exit. And she's like...
Yeah.
We've got to do it. Come on.
I did see a great TikToker satiring that, and she was absolutely brilliant at it.
So
at the moment, the thing on TikTok is everyone making fun of Russell Brand and his haphazard conversion to Christianity, where he gets into his Y-fronts and baptizes people with whoever that guy was.
God, I hate
listen,
that, man.
Guys, I've got to go. I've got to run.
Okay, well, Mikey Fammon's in the chat. So, Mikey, come on the show. The link's in the chat. Right. Aid, you're a legend. Yeah. Good night, mate. Sleep well.
Night, guys.
Good night. Good night, sir. Good night. We've got a super chat from Puninator. Thank you very much, Puninator. Got to be honest, I'm quite jealous of Liz Truss. Would love just a tenth of her self-confidence. Yeah, I think that's right. Mikey, come on, chat.
A fifth of her delusion. I would be the most confident person in the world.
We'll have you, Mikey. Just come on the show. Mikey's saying he has to smoke some funny herb to see if they'll have him. Liz Truss is the Simpsons joke. Mikey Famine, the guy from Chicago who's been on a couple of the shows.
Oh, was he on a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, Mikey.
Yeah, I don't remember now.
I think he was agreeing with you more than I was.
He agreed with me on things. Yeah, I thought him and
Cousins
were fist fight.
So you had, we didn't. No, we're nice like that.
That was really good.
We're lovers, not fighters. Liz Truss is like the Simpsons joke. Just wait for it. She's about to do something stupid. ...
Right.
Indeed. And yeah, she is just a nightmare.
Crazy.
Power to the people is saying Liz Truss proves that you can privately educate a moron, but they'll still be a moron. She didn't go to private school. I think she is the sacrificial lamb of the Tory party to go, see what happens when we put a statey in charge of things? Because their other 4 leaders all went to private school. But that one was the one that went to a state school.
And then she fucked it all up.
Oh, yes, she screwed the pooch.
100%.
That pooch is never going to walk straight again. Super Tiny, thank you very much. Saying we would ask for the fishy bits because if you winked at the lady, you'll get a laugh, an extra bit. I have no idea what. You talk about batter. Oh, batter in the. Okay, they're talking about fish and chip shops now. That's your fault, Darren.
Well done, Dan.
You brought down the tone of the conversation.
Yes, you're quite welcome. Yes, I do my best. It's quite cold and damp down in this drain.
Have you got, David? Have you got an opinion on what like they were on at the Tory party? Like, why were they so cheerful at the Tory party conference? Is this going to be a mystery for all ages, all times?
I just honestly, I just think. It's like I remember watching the last couple of weeks in Parliament, before they went back off at recess and the conference season, and I'm watching them, and they just seem to think, "Oh, right, pressure's off. We're now the people who are going to hold the government to account, and if anyone farts out of the place, we can tear into them." And they seem to think that because now we're in opposition, we have the divine right to basically tear into the Labour Party. So you look at all them green shoots we've made after 14 years. You look was over there in the distance, and everybody's going, where? And they were over there. They were over there.
Project 2030 renewal.
Yes. Yeah, they were over there.
Renewal 2030.
You can't see them now because Labour have messed it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Within 30 seconds of Keir Starmer getting his posterior on the seat in number 10, it's gone. You messed it up. Yeah. We're the people who, and I just honestly seem to think that I have a funny feeling they think, "Oh, we're back in 4 or 5 years."
Yeah.
I think you're right there. There's definitely a delusion there. I want to say actually, there's one thing I can think about as to why they were probably so happy.
Drugs.
Because they are still controlling the media narrative.
Yes, they are. Yeah, you're right.
I think they're quite happy about that.
Thanks to the 3 people that own all our media.
Right. Yeah. And it's hysterical.
All of whom are Tory scum.
How things that were blown up in the last few weeks about Labour taking gifts or whatever else, it's like
they went to a gig for free.
Like 1,000 times worse.
They went to a gig, Scott. Come on.
I know, it's ridiculous.
I didn't get to go to that gig. They did. It's not fun.
But this is the thing. It's like, did Boris Johnson not go to any gigs? Of course. It's just no one knew about it. But
no, we didn't have to declare it. People knew about it. He just didn't have to declare it.
He never declared anything. And this is another thing as well. It's like they did all. I'm doing the whole Trump thing now. They did all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
They did all this corrupt shit, and it's like they're holding Keir Starmer to such an extraordinarily higher standard.
We said this was going to happen, Scott, before the election, didn't we? We were talking about when people said, "Oh, there's no difference between Labour and the Conservatives." I'd be like, yeah, Labour will be held to a higher standard, not just by the people who voted for them, because we'll hold them, but like all the newspapers are not going to give them a single moment to lay back on their levels. Do you know what I mean? They're just not.
Not at all. And it's even gotten to a point where like Keir Starmer's like, "Well, we'll get stuff back," and it's like, well, you're making it look like you've done something wrong now.
Yeah, no,
you didn't do, which is
I just think
stupid.
That's a bit of naivety.
Yeah.
I think it's just being naive, and one of the reasons why I think that way, I remember watching a bit in Parliament. It was, I think it was about health and social care, something West Street and Victoria Atkins, and like. There was this one more, where the minister of the opposition say to ask the minister so and so this so and so to move the motion or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Well, Victoria Atkins, in her infinite wisdom, she walked up dispatch box and she went, and I'm so glad to see you there, giving it all this and finger pointing and finger blasting and West Stream's just stood there saying, no, you're not supposed to be doing that. And in the end up, the deputy speaker put her straight and she went, oh, sorry, I'm so used to be on the other side of the dispatch box. And you could just see.
Oh, that was like in the first 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, but also she's not allowed to do that on the other side of the dispatch box either. You're not allowed to stand up when someone else is talking. It's the rule of Parliament.
I mean, the whole Victoria Atkins entitlement thing was just her.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. No, this was a couple of weeks after the election. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I think we're talking about the same incident. Yeah,
I know, because like I can't remember who it was. Steve Reed. He's talking about something, and all of a sudden she just jumps up and I've forgotten his name now. Christopher Chope is sat there.
Christopher Chope's a nightmare. I hate that man.
And some bloke says, Choppy bloke. Choppy, mate, are you going to do something about this? And just, oh, you've acted a bomb. No, this was something to do with, I think it was something to do with the NHS. And as it's West Street sat there, she's giving it big style. And then he says, no, you're supposed to ask me this or so. So no, this is not how it works. And then the deputy speaker, she jumped. I think she's a Labour MP. I've forgotten her name now. And she had to put her straight. She said, oh, sorry. He said, I'm just not used to this. I'm more used to being on the other side of the dispatch box. And I just sat there thinking, you people are delusional. You know, you just seem to still think you're going to be back in 5 years' time.
Well, they might be, the way Labour are bloody playing the cards that they've been dealt.
Well,
but
Labour needs to stop playing up to the newspapers, and I think Keir Starmer needs to actually stamp it out a little bit.
Yeah, it's Mikey.
Hey, Mikey, how you doing?
Hey, Mikey. Just as Mikey's logging on, just want to say, absolutely, Scott, and we've got John in the chat saying it's sickening. I wish Labour would regulate these far-right foreign oligarch media owners. Blue Badger's got a point here. I know Truss is a crazy lady, but what are the chances we're making fun of someone who, with untreated mental illness and a bunch of her mates who keep feeding her pills without consequence? You could say the same about Trump. Yeah. Maybe that's what's happened with Donny. You know, Donny and diapers and diaper Donny. And Duke says we can't talk about the gifts that Boris got because we'll be here all night.
Right.
Anyway. Mikey, how's it going in America, over in Chicago?
Well, it's another great day here where more people are, as I've been calling 2024, the year of the fuck around and find out.
Okay, who's found out today?
The redemption arc is real. The election denier lady, she was like one of the Dominion election.
She went down.
9 years?
Yeah, I would say
9 years.
She was hoping for probation. She got 9 years prison with 3 years probation to follow.
If you fuck with democracy, democracy's going to fuck with you.
So let that be a warning to all of you other people in other states
who are planning to do the same thing in this election.
It literally was a warning.
If you would like to interfere with any more elections, be prepared to sit.
Do you reckon that was one of Keir Starmer's suggestions? He said, "Do you want to stop people fucking about at your next election? Just make them see people go to jail, because that's how we stopped the riots in this country over the summer. It wasn't police brutality put it down. It was literally, I don't want to go to jail, so they all stopped going out.
I mean,
that got outnumbered in jail.
Yeah, I'd like to get Farage in jail, but he's rich.
But you guys showed out in mass, like the Allies showed up, like
that was true,
and were outnumbering the racist, fascist, neo-Nazis.
Quite
quickly, like they were quickly outnumbered. So
that was brilliant. There was a mosque in Liverpool where the local community came out to protect the mosque, and the fascists turned up and they were all shouting things. And the leader of the mosque came out with like biscuits and tea for them, and was just like, "Oh, do you want some cake?" And they were like, "Oh, okay then." And then they had like a discussion, and then they all went home. It was the most British thing ever.
Now, if I was him, as soon as he reached for the cake, Stone Cold Stunner, right? Am I right? Like, just one to the jewels turn, get the head in there. Yeah. Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, it's such an American thing. Let's just turn it straight to violence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone on your front lawn, kill him. Someone wants your VCR, kill him.
Yeah.
An obvious ruse for the first attack. Am I right?
Someone looking at you funny, kill him.
Yeah, but would you drink a gallon of beer after you've done it, Mike?
Well, since you said gallon.
Crack it open with can.
Well, I mean, were you watching earlier, Mikey, when I got a bit exasperated with Graham discussing the whole Trump thing?
Oh, is he still wrong? What are you on about now, Graham? Graham, how are you wrong about Trump this time?
I mean, it's literally the same conversation.
Yet to be seen. Yet to be seen.
What shall I file this wrong answer under?
I wasn't talking about the people in America, but I was mentioning that. Well, I did mention the fact that they haven't risen up against Trump, which is very telling, I think. There's been no riots because a rapist is about to be president of the United States again.
The Republicans, you have to remember, are not the Democrats, and they're not the Tories, and they're American Republicans, right? So this is Bush, like the Bush people. Yeah. They're very official.
What, like in Botswana?
They're very quiet, or they're very reserved. They don't like a lot of frill and all. John McCain, some of those, they're war hawks, yes, but when it comes to American side politics, they don't do all this crazy stuff. Liz Cheney, like these people, they're boring intentionally. Like Mitch McConnell's like an old school guy too, but he's just like that old snapping turtle that's just stuck at the bottom of the lake eating everybody.
He does look like a turtle.
Snapping turtle.
I'm surprised he's alive. How do they keep him going? They just keep
Weekend at Bernie's, mate. Weekend at Bernie's. It's all pulleys.
Yes.
Electric shocks now and again.
Literal walking corpse.
we completely forgot about while Biden was freezing, McConnell was freezing too.
Right.
Everyone
all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. Every time he was in a press conference,
that.
Yeah,
he would just literally go and
then everybody would like, okay, that's all the questions we have for this.
Yeah, right.
All right.
He doesn't know what day it is. Right, he's like Jimmy Carter.
Him out of. He just needs the oil can. But hey, everybody forgot all about that, right? But they're still trying to raise money to get rid of that guy. Like it's bad. But those guys are the quiet guys. They don't do all this rip roaring, yelling back. I was talking to my mom. She's in town, and we were talking about the 2016 election. Do you remember who was on that ticket?
Jill Stein?
No. On the Republican ticket.
Trump?
So Trump beat Rubio, Cruz, Jeb Bush, Ben Carson.
Yeah.
There was 16 of them or something like that.
There was a mad number,
Chris Christie was in there, and he just went nasty with them. And the Republicans of that era don't have a defense for that. They play by the rules. That's their whole game. They're conservatives. And then like on the fringe, you'd have like that weirdo Ted Cruz, he's almost a woke. Like that's how their lens.
I do not like that man, Ted Cruz.
That's where their Overton window is. You know what I mean? Like that's their norm. And then here comes Trump literally lighting the house on fire. Yeah. Like just torching scorched earth everywhere he goes. Ted Cruz, your wife's a ugly dog or whatever he said. Like just so-and-so's look, it's little baby Marco and it's such and such and lower. He just torched all of them, just roasted all of them because that was funny, right? Everybody's like, oh, look at him. Good. Well, they haven't recovered. They've been cucked. They've been successfully cucked, and now they won't fight back.
Yeah, they won't fight back, and they've all fallen in rank and file behind Trump.
because
not
he
all
was
of them though.
because he was the president and he was a Republican.
Chris Christie hasn't, but that's about it.
So here's the beautiful part about it. And this is why I still think that he's going to jail. These dudes are not stupid, right? They are diabolical, maniacal, but they're not ignorant. Not of how things work. They let him run around, burn up what little money they had left in the war chest. He'll be gone. Him and all of his ilk that are attached to him will be in jail. So that's why I think they let him go. There wasn't a huge Republican backing to get rid of him, right? Because it's faster and cheaper to let the Democrats do it for you.
But what if he wins?
Then you act like you were on his side the whole time.
That's the worry. But I mean, I think they're going to back him when he doesn't win and says that he does.
But that's the politicians I'm talking about. That's the people in DC I'm talking about.
But I don't think the people of America are going to rise up.
Citizens, they can't. That's not how it works. But for the citizens watching all this stuff, all this court stuff coming out, those people, not the MAGA weirdos who all have the same cousin, shouldn't say that, but those fringy dudes that are very new to the party, they will fizzle and pop and or get themselves locked up because they don't know how to act. These dudes have been I mean, what about how many people went to jail with Iran-Contra?
No one.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's the old school Republican Party. These motherfuckers can't even get into a building. That they're not the same.
I know, and I'm not disputing that. I'm honestly not disputing that, mate. I think you're right. I don't think that the American people are going to rise up against anything. I think they're just going to lie down and say, because most people don't care about politics.
He's going to lose.
But I think he will lose the election. I think this. I think he's definitely going to lose the popular vote. He has no chance of winning the popular vote. He might squeak it if he gets Pennsylvania. But let's say he loses by a few votes. I think that the chicanery that is going to be pulled by the Republican Party and the Heritage Foundation, which is behind all this, and the Project 2025 lot, and the fact that they have so many judges in their back pocket, it really, really worries me. And I as I was saying to Scott, I'd like to think that the Democrats have got something up their sleeve so that if the Republicans do pull this shit,
it's called prosecution. We just showed you.
Really? Trump hasn't been done though, has he?
It's called. I can't go through the whole thing in 10 seconds, but it takes a long time when you spend millions and millions of dollars to have your attorneys make it take a long time.
But
he's been dragging this out.
But you've got the Supreme Court saying anything the president does as an official act is legal. You've got the Judge Cannon, Eileen Cannon throwing the case out for the most ridiculous reason you could possibly imagine.
But that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, the Mar-a-Lago documents case, it's annoying, but it's whatever. Because Russia and China and whoever wanted that information, they've got it. Because that was his briefings that he didn't want to read. They got stacked up in boxes and everywhere all over that freaking place, up on the stage, in the bathroom, all over. Who knows what has been let out? Well, we can just safely assume that everything that he had is out. Move on. Okay. He won't get in trouble for that one. That's fine. No. The New York one, which he's going to have to, that'll bankrupt him. And then the other one is the Jack Smith case. That's the main one. The other ones are fine.
Did you hear about what's happened this week? The way they're approaching it?
No.
Have you heard about the latest on it? He's released loads of stuff that
I got it. I've been reading it. Yeah.
Oh, you mean that was released on by Jack Smith?
Yes.
Yeah. He got to release pretty much his opening statement for us.
Was it B5? Or P5? The person who said let him riot, make him riot. Yeah. Was it P5?
Yeah.
Do you know what I think the P stood for? Putin. I think that was Putin saying. And there was
other stuff that he said, but the way they're approaching it is right that in the capacity of when he instigated this riot, he was not doing that in a presidential capacity. He was doing that as a candidate.
Yes.
So I think that's how they're trying to skirt the whole immunity thing.
Yeah, they are, but they're having to skirt it because the Supreme Court has just got a disgusting amount of money for a bunch of
again, that's another thing they're trying to do. Is also, I know they want to.
One of them's a rapist.
I read somewhere there was talk of expanding it to, I think, 9 judges.
It is 9 judges.
I think not 9 judges, 12. Sorry, 12.
13. There's
13, is it?
There's 13 districts, and each Supreme Court justice should have a district that they preside over. So it shouldn't be, you know, all the cases in the world go to DC and just sit in a folder for 1,000 years. It's a little bit different when one judge can take a look at stuff that's local for them, for their region or whatnot. But
so there's talk of changing that up as well, which if they get it through and Kamala does become president, she could fill it up. So then it evens out the court, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Mikey, yeah, I mean, it will do. If they get 13 judges in and 7 of them are a Democrat, then yeah, that would it wouldn't even out the court. It would be super majority Democrat. But but then there's nothing in the Constitution to stop the Republicans when they get back in, which they will at some point, stacking the court with another 21 judges or 47 judges. There's no limit.
Yeah, but Trump won't be there then.
Yeah,
Trump will be in jail.
He'll be dead.
Well, one or two. I'll take either or both. But yeah, I was going to ask Mikey.
Column A, little column B.
You know what's the response been?
What's to say that he won't be forgotten about if he loses? You know,
because he wasn't forgotten about in 2020, and he should have been. Like that should have been it. 2020 should have been it. That should have been the end of his political career.
Him another chance,
anyone else, for you or me or Mikey or Darren or anyone watching this, or any other human being on the fucking planet, if they had pulled that shit on January the 6th, they would not be running for president again.
Yeah, but he is, right? I think if he loses this time, I think the Republican Party will drop him because he doesn't win. It's twice now.
They said, you better make it, Donnie. And they gave him the last little dollars they had, and they said, off you go now.
Yeah. He doesn't win. I think he's gone. I think
he's doing well in the polls. He's doing incredible, considering what's been thrown at him because he's so awful and the things that come out of his face. It is mind-blowing that it is still a toss-up between the two.
Is that cup deliberately green?
What are you talking about? What cup?
Oh, he got an invisible cup, Mikey.
Talking about cup.
Love it. Drinking. Ruth Guthrie says Jonathan Nez is gaining popularity. I don't know who Jonathan Nez is.
Is that the guy from Queer Eye Straight? The with the long hair.
I don't know. Apparently, they're gaining popularity. Thanks for the super chat, Ruth.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Mikey, I've got a question. So Hurricane Helene has just smashed 7 stages shit out of western North Carolina. Has this changed the outlook of people in that area about climate change? Are people talking about it more, or are they just going, oh, it must have been a vengeful god because people were having too much bum sex?
People, they didn't blame the gays this time. You're right. They did not blame the gays.
They didn't blame the gays. Oh, fantastic. That makes a change.
They blamed the gays about 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, they normally do.
And it's like, how dare the storm can. Okay. But I have noticed that, funnily enough, Trump has still found a way to make this bad for him by lying and saying that the help wasn't going to Republican areas, only the Democrat areas.
Oh, wow.
The governor had to come out and say, that's not true. He's lying. Jeez. Now, I don't think
Trump lie? No.
Well, that's all he ever does.
Hold the front page.
So when I say bleeding voters left, right, and center, dude, there's a natural disaster in a battleground state. You accuse your rival of not sending a response to help those people. The Republican governor says, hey, dude, knock it off. You keep doing it. So then he has to come out and say, Trump's lying.
Well, I mean, it gets better than this. It gets better than this, Mikey.
Those people are about to vote in 4 weeks.
Yeah, but Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't just claim that the Democrats weren't helping out the Republican voters in North Carolina. She's actually gone on record to say that the Democrats control the weather and they made the storm happen. Mikey, this is what Marjorie Taylor Greene has said.
This is a woman who talks about Jewish space lasers.
Yes, it is. She's an elected representative in America. Oh my God.
Planet Marjorie.
Who told her?
The thing is, him showing up there like that took away resource from actually helping people.
Yeah.
And he made a natural disaster about him.
As he always does. He did that in Puerto Rico when he was throwing bloody
paper towels
out to people. And they were begging, saying, look, can we get rid of this stupid rule from like 150 years ago that says that anything that gets shipped into Puerto Rico has to stop in a port in mainland lower 48 America first? Like, how is that a rule? Like, I can't send a ship from the UK directly to Puerto Rico with supplies and aid in it, medicine. I can't send that. It's got to go via America, via the US proper, if you like.
You can come through Miami, and we'll take a look through all those boxes, see if we like anything.
Yeah,
keep it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico doesn't need all their stuff. Like Puerto Rico needs to be the 51st state. Like it's too late. Or DC, and then they can be 52. And then we can grab like Guam and like a couple other places, so we get like a nice round 55.
I just think like the wisdom of crowds. Where has that gone? You know, like the law of diminishing returns for sequels, like the Jaws sequels, like every one of them was like 50% worse than the one that came before. And if you chart out the Rotten Tomatoes scores, it goes from like 100% for Jaws 1. Jaws 4, The Revenge, is like 0%. It just goes like that.
It's the inverse square law of sequels.
Yeah, exactly. So people vote with their feet when they say, "Oh no, I'm not going to see the sequel because, like, I love the first movie."
Jaws 5, Graham.
Every time, no, not yet. But every time a new shit movie comes out, you're like, "Oh well, I'm not gonna vote for this." But with Trump, it just seems to be the other way around. The guy defies political gravity, and obviously on the outside of it, I don't get it. But what will it take for people to just go, "I don't want this guy"?
He's not a politician at all. He's a bludgeon. You know what I mean? He's just like the antithesis of, I'm mad at my existence and I think it's liberals' fault. So what is the opposite of that? Like, how can I make it the worst possible for them? You know, like they're trying to find this is like, it's just like the freaking 20,000 idiots voted for Harambe. This is just trying to own the libs. These people don't even care about their own lives. Like they're voting for policies that are directly opposed to their well-being just to spite somebody else.
One of the policies apparently is he's going to not tax people's overtime, but he'll do that by getting rid of overtime.
Right, you just won't get overtime anymore.
Just won't get overtime. So therefore, we can't tax it. And he literally stood in front of one of his crowds in working class Georgia or something like that, and literally said, I always hated paying overtime. I don't tell anyone, but I used to get other people to just come in and do it for the flat rate.
Yeah, then the Hoopton.
I mean, he's literally telling workers there.
And the Hoopton hollowed out when he said it, didn't they?
Huh? Yeah, a couple of people did, but a lot of them it was actually very quiet. Because I think people were like, what? But they're not. The people behind them are going to show. They're so excited to be on fucking TV.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. By the way, Scott, love your Masters of Puppets shirt. I got one myself.
Always about the metal. You know I'm always about the metal, guys. Master.
Absolutely.
I did a Master of Puppets homage on the side of our Dominic Cummings float at one of the anti-Brexit marches that we had.
Was he the Master of Puppets?
He was the Master of Muppets.
Rasher of Muppets.
That's what my brain's been doing that whole time. I just had that little beaker dude like.
I love Beaker. Oh, poor Beaker. He was shot at the end, didn't he?
Ruth Guthrie, FFS, check him out. I think this is a big thing. Talking about Jonathan Nez. He's a leader of one of the First Nations, is it? In America. Sorry, I missed the next one. Ruth,
right, let's have a real look and see who you're actually talking about. I know it's not the guy from Queer Eye.
Oh, thanks for that, Scott. You made me look really stupid there. I went, oh yeah, that's the guy, obviously.
I thought I was joking.
I feel really bad now. Ruth's thrown a couple of super chats in for us to look this up. The least we could do is look it up.
Jonathan Van Ness is the American hairstylist.
Okay, that makes sense. So this is Jonathan Nez. And the least we can do is Google it, since the
former president of the Navajo Nation.
Yeah. Jonathan Nez. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing him. I'm trying to find.
So they want him to. Why is he becoming so popular?
He's running for Congress. He's putting the needs of rural something.
Well,
indigenous people.
Well, he's a Democrat. He's clearly
he's a Navajo politician. That'd be cool if he wins. Yeah, I'm up for that. Sounds good to me.
He is Native American. Yeah.
Where is he? In Arizona.
He was the president of the Navajo Nation.
Arizona is currently 1.1% towards Trump in the forecasted margins of victory.
I mean, the Navajos are the largest margin, isn't it?
It is.
The Navajos are the largest tribe.
Yeah, it's all within the margin of error for the swing states. It's all within the margin of error, so we have no idea who's going to win this election.
I think a lot of these polls, it's also depending on who's actually saying, whoever is broadcasting is going to have their poll that has their bias.
Yeah, but this is 538, so this is a poll of polls. So they put all the polls together. They give them a star rating depending on how reliable they are. They say whether they are skewed towards the Republicans or Democrats. So if it's a Fox News poll, it gets no stars. But they did have some good quality polling in there. I mean, they got YouGov, who were, give them their due. They were bang on the money for the British election. Indeed. And the polls were pretty good in the last American election as well in 2020. They were just absolutely terrible in 2016 because it was 90% probability of Hillary Clinton winning. And she didn't win.
Yeah, she's found a way to screw that up.
Yeah. A
friggin' layup. And she screwed it up.
Yeah.
I've got hot sauce in my bag. All you had to do was not say that, Hillary, and you probably would.
Well, she needed to be less unlikable. I think that was the problem. I don't have a problem with her. I think she's a decent politician. I think she would have made a good president. Not a great president, but a good president.
As a super predator, I understand.
But she just, I don't know.
I'm a super predator to her. She called little black me a super predator. Fuck her.
What did you say that for? What did you do? What did you do? Did you just chase her through the jungle wearing bloody camouflage that makes you look like you blend into the environment?
When she was a first lady and she had to find something to do, her thing was to make sure that everybody knew about those super criminals in the inner cities.
The super criminals? Are they like criminals but with superpowers? We're back onto the Greek gods again.
They're lucky.
The thing is, she has a lot of baggage, and one of the things that Trump does have in a weird way is a lot of baggage. So you think that it would be a problem for him, but it's not, and that's
you can blame a woman.
Very concerning. Well, no, I mean he's fucked over loads of men when he's screwed their wives or their children, but also he's gone back on deals. He's not paid people who've done work for him, any contractors who've ever worked for Trump. The investors in his crappy casinos or his airline or his stakes or his universities or whatever, they've all lost money, and he's screwed over so many people. How is he still alive? Like, surely there's someone who has lost everything because of Trump and it's like, got nothing left to lose.
Well, 2 people have tried already, so
Well, yeah, might
maybe
not be
it'll
long.
a third time as a charm.
Well, maybe.
Glad I didn't set all the incels on fire. Now I have to dodge bullets for the rest of my life.
Right.
Yeah, and it will be his side that attack him every time. It will be his side because he's stirred up the loonies. And the thing is with the loonies,
they're loony.
They're loony. Yes. Thanks, Scott.
They're crazy.
Yeah. They're tiny. They're toony. They're all.
You can't control crazy. Super Tiny wants to know if we're still talking about P Diddy. No, we're not.
Yes, we are actually.
But we are in a way, aren't
we? They're probably friends. They're all like these are all.
Epstein. They're all connected.
P Donnie.
These are all Epstein connections.
Yes, they are. Donnie is currently flying around in Epstein's old jet. Donnie, who might or may not have had Epstein whacked while he was in jail, awaiting trial for more of his horrific crimes that he committed. And who was one of his best mates back in the day? Oh, it was the current president at that time. And then the guy killed himself in jail. And the CCTV camera magically turned itself off before he had the chance to do it.
And the guard fell asleep.
What a surprise.
Accidents happen. What can you say? That's why y'all ain't taking me to jail.
Yeah.
I drive 87 miles an hour below the limit. My shit's 3 years ahead of time. Ain't nothing expired. All my blinkers work. Y'all not arresting me. I gotta be free to talk my shit.
George, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. As soon as the live stream finishes, see my comment. We're going to wrap up soon. Do we have any stories of the week? Have we got anything, Scott, that's tickled your fancy that you wanted just to dive into? Or
that's usually you. But
me?
Yeah, it tickled my fancy.
Ooh. Behave.
Yeah, all right. It was a crap joke. The story of the week. I don't really have one. I think obviously the thing that made me laugh the most was Liz Truss. Just with that shit-eating grin, thinking that she was something very, very special. And that in itself was just. I don't think there was anything really that,
I have a question. Scott. Who would win in a battle of wits between Liz Truss, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and a wet paper bag?
Wet paper bag.
Jesus Christ. You're right,
He's not wrong. No, I in all seriousness, Marjorie Taylor Greene is so fucking stupid that I think Liz Truss would actually outwit her just by the dint of being British and using bigger words than Marjorie knows.
How does Marjorie remember to breathe?
I don't know how she puts her clothes on. I don't get it. She
makes her husband do it.
She got someone else to do it. She's so stupid.
Makes her husband do it.
And you know what? I'll tell you. She wouldn't even engage in a conversation with someone like Liz Truss because she'd just go, "You go back to your country with your nabs. You don't know anything about America." And that's her argument with anybody who has a slight accent. But she's a racist, stupid, uneducated
Karen. She is a Karen, a very stupid Karen. Yeah, Mikey, have you got anything from America that we need to know that we might not have heard of on this side of the pond? Anything daft going on? I mean, we were talking about P Diddy at the beginning of the show. I mean, what is it? 180 odd people have come forward now. I mean, that's a small army of victims.
It's been
oh my God,
years.
Wow.
And when people I never cared for his music like that. So I kind of got into metal and other kind of genres. So I never really kept up with P. Diddy. I remember every breath you everybody remembers that thing. But then
25 years ago.
Wasn't that Sting?
He's not,
no, he did the cover. It was for Biggie Smalls.
Oh, Biggie. Didn't he kill Biggie? Allegedly.
Funny that.
Don't arrest me. Didn't he also kill Tupac? Allegedly. Am I not supposed to say these things out loud on the internet?
I don't know.
You'll find out, won't you?
Yeah, I suppose I will. But if he's going down for all these other crimes, I mean, they may as well just pin that on him instead.
Yeah,
there's no
way he could reach out and touch you all the way over there, right?
He's not getting out of jail. He is not going to get out of jail. He's going to be, in America they have those mad sentences where you get like sentenced to like 1,000 years in jail or something.
Hey, what about that Woody Harrelson? Woody Allen film?
Yes.
Yeah, when he kept getting 8 years for all crimes, then they just give him 800 at the end.
The thing is, though, don't count your chickens before they've hatched. Remember Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
And then they screwed it up. They broke the deal that they had with him, and it was a mistrial.
Is he a free man?
Yeah.
What? He's not in jail? I thought he was in jail. I just assumed he was in jail for all that nonsense he did.
No.
They blew the trial.
Kidding me.
No, he's at home.
Okay, all right. So if you're going to do Diddy for these crimes, can you just like get groups of like maybe 20 people, right? So if you screw up that trial, you can't be done for the same thing twice because that would be for the same crime twice, that'd be double jeopardy. So don't do him for that. Those 20, pick another 20 and then do it for that. And then if they don't work, get another 20. Don't do them all together. Oh my God.
Well, there is actually 180 victims. Like one of them's it's got to be, I guess one of them will have to be telling the truth, right? You know what I mean?
Even with the guns, he's looking at like 20 years. You can't scratch off the serials on AKs and ARs, dude. And then use those to threaten people who are willing to testify against you. That's 20 years.
Yeah.
Keeping people in your house
sounds weird as well.
But he did do that, didn't he? Because he knew that they were investigating him, and he's basically got up to people who he knew would be part of.
He's compromised witnesses for sure.
Yeah.
And that's why he settles out of court. Yeah, he settles all those cases and he settled all that stuff because if they didn't take the money he was throwing at them, he'll set your car on fire or light your whole
or just shoot you like he did with Biggie and Tupac.
Says you.
Allegedly.
Graham at every
country.
Every country.
Yeah. Although I don't really go on Twitter that much. It's really bad. I should capitalize on my notoriety this week because one of my videos or a video that I was in I don't mean, they say things go viral. It didn't really go viral. It had about 400,000 views, but you don't know how many of them they've actually bothered to watch the whole thing. They might have just been scrolling.
Oh, is that the Owen Jones interview?
No. This was at the Remain March or the Rejoin March, as we like to call them these days.
I missed that.
As the kids are calling them. The National Rejoin March, and I was doing a speech about my passport and my new passport and how much I hate it.
I loved your interaction with Owen Jones. You didn't put up with his stupid inane questions. You asked him.
Yes.
And I thought that was really clever.
Oh, thank you.
To put him on the spot because he couldn't answer the question.
Yeah. No, he couldn't.
I remembered something.
What?
I remembered something.
Go on.
A couple, maybe 10 days ago, Jake Tapper decided that he wanted to just lie on Rashida Tlaib.
Okay, so explain who Jake Tapper is for our viewers at home here.
Jake Tapper is a Fox CNN News correspondent.
Oh, CNN.
Right. Okay.
And he falsely reported, and then I believe doubled down on a claim that Rashida Tlaib said that it was the way that they treated the protesters at the colleges seemed to be especially harsh this time around than for like Black Lives Matter or anything like that. That was her comment. He says, and then the lady who the comment was about says something about, oh, Rashida said this about me because of my race. And without even getting anything from Rashida Tlaib, he was like, so she doesn't like her being Jewish. And she says that it's harder on those. I was like, oh. So he just put an anti-Semitic trope in her mouth and reported on it to millions and millions and millions of people and then didn't retract it properly. So it's a real scum fucking baggery. More bullshit from CNN where they make an do some lazy journalism, trying to be out in front, trying to be first instead of trying to be a flagship channel like they could be. They want to chase headlines and they missed, and then they didn't apologize properly to me. So if you just do a quick YouTube of like Jake Tapper, Rashida Tlaib. You'll find somebody's wrap up of the whole incident, but definitely worth a watch.
Wow. So yeah, what he said was Congresswoman Tlaib is suggesting that she shouldn't be prosecuting those individuals that Nassel says broke the law, and that she's only doing it because she's Jewish. So he just literally made up a quote. That's pretty bad. That's Boris Johnson levels of shitty journalism.
And this guy's been great. He's been great since I don't know, Iraq War. That's when he was the new guy at CNN, and now he's finally got his own show, doing his own thing. The hell is this? What the as if this whole Israel Palestine, now we got Hezbollah and everybody, as if that's not complicated enough. Now you want to lie on the one member of Congress who's from Palestine.
Wow.
The one Palestinian person in Congress is the person that you make up.
I hadn't heard about this, so thanks for bringing it to our attention. It is. The media in general is disgracefully slanted against the Palestinians and against Muslims in general, it seems, around the world. And things kicking off in the Middle East. It is complex and it is difficult to understand exactly what's going on, and it really doesn't help when you have journalists just making up quotes. Oh, Mikey's had to go. Right, he'll be back in a minute. Right, he's just pissed off. Right, Darren, have you got any stories of the week before we wrap up? We've got to be quick.
How about? Well, there's a couple that spring to mind. The Kemi Badenoch complaining about Keir Starmer and his son using a room, and she's borrowing for his son to do his exams or whatever, while she's doing the same for her campaign. And how about Robert Jenrick and his £75,000 donation?
Yes.
From a company that employs nobody, doesn't make any money.
Yeah.
And just doesn't sound dodgy at all, does it, Graham?
They just gave him £75,000 for being awesome. Yeah. What's Scott doing? He looks like he's very, very concentrating on his penis. I don't know what he's doing, but it's...
I was not looking at my penis. I know what it looks like.
Okay, cool. I thought you just, I don't know, trimming your pubes or something.
No,
George Shaw says, "Is Mikey okay?" I don't know. Mikey's gone. Scott's shut down.
I'm not shut down. I'm sorry. I got distracted.
I think we've upset the Americans, Darren.
Yeah. I have this effect on most Americans.
Wow, I can tell.
I was going to wrap it up. At 20 past, but if Mikey doesn't come back, I'm going to feel really bad that he's obviously just had, I don't know, knock on the door.
I do need to go because I got to get up. I got to be.
No, I've got to go. Things to do, but let's say ta-ra and hope that Mikey comes back in the time it takes us to say ta-ra. Thank you to everyone watching. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Obviously, thanks to Darren and to Scott, and also to Mikey when he comes back. Super Tiny saying the BBC were terrible lately. Yes, they've been particularly bad. Knowing where things came from can tell us where they're going, says One Angry Pagan. That is quite philosophical. I like it. Paul says, and where's Rachel? Rachel's on holiday at the moment. She'll be back next week.
I wondered.
Sorry?
I wondered where she was.
Oh, no, she's on holiday. She said in the chat. She said in the WhatsApp chat. Keep up with the band.
Oh, I missed that. My bad.
No, she said, I can't come this week.
Is she taking her wellies, though?
I'm on me ollies.
I was out last week, so that's why I was out actually having a life on a Friday night. Can you believe it?
Oh, no. Don't do that. You make us feel bad for being here.
No, don't feel bad. It only happens every so often. You know?
Well, I hope you had a good time. Thanks to everyone who's watching. Thanks for all the super chats. Really appreciate it. Could you give us a like before you leave us? And we'll let you know where Mikey's gone, because we're going to stay on the line for a few moments after the show. Maybe even he needs to go to the loo.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. Like, it was kind of one of those, gotta go.
maybe the revolution started.
You never know. The revolution.
Yeah.
You mean the abolition.
That's a funny way of saying dropping a dead otter.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, thank you very much to both of you, and thanks for watching. And we'll be back on Sunday at 8:00. I'll be here with Mike Galsworthy, and we're going to be doing an episode of How We Fix Britain, and we're going to be talking about sneaky ways to sneak our way back into Europe. So please join us for that, 8:00 on Sunday. And until then, I'll say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye. Everyone say goodbye. Bye.
Goodbye.